I want the icon of the clit to be recognizable. I want there to be sculptures, public sculptures of the clitoris in the world, so that no one has to wonder what this part of our body is. And this joke about how no one can find it goes away. This is one of the first artworks I ever made for the project before I had any idea that I was going to spend, almost 10 years of my life devoted to it. This is one of the 100 laws of Cliteracy, and I think this is a very important law and really gets to the heart of the work. This is also one of my laws of Cliteracy. So some of them are very much about, facts about the clit and respecting the clit, and then other ones are just like, the clit is epic, fuck yeah. The project it takes place in terms of billboards and text art and installations and performance and street art and sculptures and public interactive experiences. And it's just like me trying in every possible way I can imagine to help this part of the body not be shamed, be known in its truth, and be treated with respect and dignity. A long time before I knew I was an artist and before I ever thought I would be doing this project, I remember having this psychic disconnect between where in my body I felt pleasure and what I was taught by health class or by the media about my vagina and how penetration is how pleasure exists. So I remember being like, maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe my body doesn't work right. And that's the first time that I think I started to understand that society is basically gaslighting everyone with a clit. I guess it was inevitable as a photographer and as someone living in New York City, doing a lot of work for clients in Times Square where there's billboards everywhere, that at some point I was gonna be like, wait a second, how come all of the images that I see of what sex is never acknowledge the clitoris as being part of how people with clits orgasm? I started doing research, and that led me to finding out that the true anatomy of the clitoris is something that I had no idea about. Most important is the glands, and that's this part. This is the part that we can see and we can feel, and when it's aroused, it sticks out of the hood, the clitoral hood is on top. For some people, their gland sticks out even when they're not aroused, but other people, it only comes out when they're aroused. The rest of this is all inside the body. So these are the bulbs, and they surround the vaginal opening, which is right in here, and they are erectile, and they swell up with blood. And these are the crura, and these go on the inside, basically around our legs, right inside here. I think it's so important that we can communicate broadly about the rights of our bodies, and unfortunately this time it's illegal to have the word clitoris in any kind of public display. You break a silence that is reinforced everywhere. It's very powerful. Okay, I think this is gonna be the last one. I see my role is alchemizing what I've learned in my life and the pain that I've experienced and the stories that I've heard from my grandmothers, teachers, and friends, and the women in my life, and doing something with that helps people and hopefully makes people feel good. People double, triple take, and they stop and they go back and they take a picture and then they post it on social media because that's how rare it is. The way that people with clits are taught about their bodies is about shame, is about close your legs, is about down there, is about private parts and lady bits and euphemistic language that already says, what you have is so gross we can't talk about it. If we do talk about it, we will talk about how tiny and miniature and bits and embarrassing it is. Really what I want to offer with this word and why I think language is so important is instead of talking about who's a slut and who isn't, why don't we talk about if someone is ill-cliterate and how definitely stay away from them and never have sex with them because it's a complete waste of your time. you know, and really shifting the dialogue in terms of like respect and pleasure and like mutual enjoyment.